This is Oleg with OpenBOM, and today I'm going to take you through step-by-step lesson how to start using OpenBOM and manage part catalogs and product cost using OpenBOM cost calculation. So let's start first from the catalogs. If you want to manage your parts, you create your catalog in OpenBOM first. I will save some of the time. I already prepared catalog. You can see the catalog with the part number setup that can generate catalog part numbers. And I added some of those parts here. Like in my example assembly, I will have base, screws, nuts, washers. I will have some body assembly and plate, and I will combine it all together in the product with bill of materials and sub-level BOM. So let me start now from creating an assembly. I will create a bill of materials for this assembly, like a new BOM, and I will choose the part number for this assembly, and this will be my gadget assembly. And this is the default bill of materials that OpenBOM creates you, and I will add a catalog to this BOM, so I will be able to use parts from this catalog. This is a reminder that I have duplicated properties in bill of materials. I really don't want them to be duplicated in catalog, so I delete them from the BOM because I don't want instances of parts in the BOM to have descriptions. I already have them in the catalog. So I'm done. I do have properties as I want, part number, quantity. So what is missing here, and I have cost. What is missing here, I want to arrange them differently, so I can move cost to a different place because I want it to be after quantity. And now I would like to add additional property, which will be property with which will calculate a cost, because of course I will have a calculated cost and this calculated cost later will be combined from a quantity times cost from a catalog. And now let's add few parts to this catalog. So I can add part, add item, and I can search for parts. So in my case, parts will be coming from catalog through the search mechanism in OpenBOM. And because I already selected this catalog, the search will be only bringing me parts from this particular catalog. So I can add parts, and I can continue adding parts using search mechanism. So now I have a plate, for example, and I can add pardon me, and I can add washer, and I can add nut, and I can add a screw. So, and also I will add an assembly that I would like later to define a separate bill of materials for this assembly. So let me add this base assembly and insert it in my BOM. So that's the assembly: screw, nut, washer, plate, PCBA. You can think about any gadget with similar parts. And now let's put a quantity. So we have one PCBA, we have one plate, we got 4 washers, 4 nuts, and 4 screws, and we have one body assembly. So we can make a different alignment of parts in a BOM. So we can make this alignment in a different way, so it will look nicer. And now we can create a formula for calculated cost. So edit formula builder allows you to write, so I can select quantity times and cost. And you can see that now, in addition to that, because I know that I will be building multi-level rollup with the multi-level BOM, I can check the multi-level rollup. And what is important here is to say what property is used as a quantity, because it will allow to OpenBOM mechanism to understand how to roll up and where quantity is in the BOM. You can, again, it can be custom, so you can use any property and you can name it differently in different bill of materials. So that's how I selected it and I save it. And you can see that cost already calculated. Don't worry about this error because there is no cost for this assembly. The cost for this assembly will come later. What we need to remember also to enable rollup totals. So we're getting this number, and this number for the moment is not including the assembly, but actually we didn't build this assembly yet. This is for the moment part number with no BOM. So now we are going to build this BOM for this assembly CAT001. So I will open OpenBOM user interface in a separate tab. So I will keep it for my reference and I will open it separately, and I create a bill of materials for this subassembly. I can build it in the same one, but I will just use it separately for the demonstration purposes. So I will select this part, and I will also, that will be the description, so I will say base assembly, and I create a BOM. So for this bill of materials, I also need to select a catalog because I want to use parts from the same catalog. So it kind of sounds like picking a little bit, but this is how for the moment we can do it. And we have cost, and we have part number and quantity, and we need to add property with calculated cost. We can create template and then use the same template to create identical BOMs, but I didn't do it now, and for demonstration purposes I will create it again. So that would be my calculated cost, and now I will add parts to this one. And now exactly the same like I did before. I can use a search mechanism, and I can select a base and put it in this assembly. And I didn't like the property order in this BOM, so I can bring cost closer. Like I said, it's possible to eliminate this problem by creating a template, but I didn't do it, so I will have to change it now. So that would be my assembly for the moment, and I will say I need one base and now I need to add washers, screws and nuts. So I will go to washer, I will go to screw, and I will be adding nut. So let's put 6 nuts, 6 screws and 6 washers, and we'll create a calculated cost. So it's a cost times quantity. And again, we need to use this for multi-level rollup. We need to say what property is used for quantity and save it. As before, for this assembly BOM, we also need to enable totals. So we do have now things are calculated, and we have quantities, and we have a calculated cost, and we use the same components from the same part catalog, basically in 2 BOMs. So we see this is a BOM for catalog, and we have also bill of materials for gadget assembly. And what will happen now is that because we and let's switch to multi-level BOM so we will be able to see them all together. As we switch, you see OpenBOM was going through the calculation, and because we created multi-level BOM, OpenBOM automatically connects these assemblies together, because that's the way OpenBOM creates relationships. It's enough to define part number. OpenBOM realizes that this is the part number, have subparts, and makes a calculation. So the interesting thing that happened now, as you can see, is that this cost of this body assembly was calculated as a cost of the subassembly. And you can see this 7.1 is the cost of this subassembly, and this cost was substituted in the cost of the assembly that before was not defined, but because we just didn't get one. Although the parts, as you can see, the price of the screw is the same price, and it was taken from the catalog, and we get to $29.5 cost of the total. Now let's see how we can now change the cost by just changing a cost inside of a catalog. So let's go for the catalog, and for kicks and giggles we just make the cost of the screw 0.6. So go into this assembly, we will just refresh the BOM, and we are going cost and see that cost is increased. So now cost is automatically changed to 0.6. So to summarize, what you've seen is that we defined a catalog with parts and the cost of parts defined in this catalog. We defined bill of materials that is combined from the one BOM and one sublevel for body assembly. We used the same parts in both of them, and we used parts from the catalog, which automatically brings the cost of these parts to the bill of materials. We use different quantities, and we defined formulas that make the total cost calculated automatically based on the quantities of the parts used in different assembly and the cost defined in the catalog. Now you can imagine how this work can be done by multiple people, and one person will be doing catalog work, will be your contractor, and somebody will be building one assembly, subassembly, and somebody will be building total BOM. After all, the power of the OpenBOM will to combine and collect all this information together and get a calculated cost. So I hope you liked the video and you will be able to repeat it step by step. Thank you very much. That was Oleg with OpenBOM.